So here I am. I'm with a friend of mine, and he knows I'm into politics. And we're watching MSNBC, which I liked, even though Brian Williams fucking election night every fucking 3 minutes breaking in. It reminded me of Trump breaking in like in the debates. Like every time the women were having the conversation, he'd be like, "I'm gonna call an election. I'm gonna call something. I'm gonna call something." Why? Because they weren't talking to you. I mean, for Christ's sake, calm down. But here's Harry Reid on the right hand side. He used to be the Democratic leader of the Senate, and he's the reason why the Democrats they bitch and moan about Supreme Court and everything else. He's the reason why, because he was mad that they were not supporting Obama's policies and they weren't. They were using the filibuster against what you call it. They were using the filibuster against Obama's policies, and so what did he do? He created the nuclear option and Mitch McConnell warned him, don't do it. I guess it's the only thing that I will agree with Mitch McConnell. But he said, don't do it because it have ramifications. He did it instead. And yes, it was to pass, I guess maybe the political sacrifice was the passing of the ACA. But beyond that, it is the reason why Mitch McConnell has run rampant in the federal judiciary, installing judge and installing 3 Supreme Court justices. Telling you that is some shit. And beyond that, I think there's a connection between Kennedy and Deutsche Bank. I'm just putting that conspiracy theory out there. But a friend of mine, the reason why he came over was we were going to talk about politics, but he wanted to fact check something that one of his good friends put on the internet, and here is how everything gets twisted. Okay, my brothers and sisters, so here it is. All right, so what was the first fact, or what was the first part?
He said, okay, all you Biden supporters, if he gets elected, whatever comes next is on you. You hated Trump so much that you sacrifice America?
Okay, hold on. So far he has made no argument whatsoever. He's just bitching about the election. Go on.
First he says, Biden plans to make a vaccine mandatory. It won't matter if you...
Oh, wait, stop. So his argument is that Biden will make a vaccine involuntary, and he has not said that. And on top of that, he said he will only trust a vaccine when Fauci trusts a vaccine, or when the science touches the vaccine. But hold on. But he said that he will not make it mandatory, but he would be the first in line to show that the vaccine works.
And he said if you don't, it don't matter if you don't want it, or if you do or don't want it, if you don't get it.
Yeah, that's what mandatory says. And nobody's going to jail. Oh, you're going to jail if you want it or don't want it. So it makes no sense. If you don't get it, if you don't want it, or you want it, you're going to jail. The whole argument is a circular argument that doesn't make any sense because it uses logic against itself. So it's just a circular argument. You're not going to jail if you don't take the vaccine, and the vaccine is not mandatory. Simple as that. Good.
Another fact he states is that our gas will be guaranteed to be over $4 a gallon.
He says that gas will be over $4 a gallon. Gas currently is around $1.75 a gallon, but you have to add the state and local taxes also that are put on your gas. So like here, I live in New Jersey, or we live in New Jersey. Here, I think it was the beginning of the year, or sometime during the year, even though coronavirus was ravaging the tri-state area, they still went and raised gasoline like to 28 cents a gallon. So I buy a gallon, I go to this one specific place that I know, I buy it at $2.05 a gallon. Okay. 28 cents of that, or 15% of that, is tax on that 1 gallon of gas. And the United States is the Saudi Arabia of the world at the current moment with fracking. So we have plenty of gas, we can convert gas, all that other good stuff, right? To make the transition to electric cars. So gas is not going to go up whatsoever. It's going to be based upon the taxes. And as electric cars become more and more on the road, maybe the price of gas will go up at that point in time. But that's all about competition. That's all. So no, gas will not go up to $4 a gallon. Next.
He says Joe Biden supports full-term,
late term, right? He says full term. He says
Abortion.
He said full-term abortion, right? There's a difference. So once again, here it is. No, Joe Biden doesn't believe in abortion. Well, Joe Biden is Catholic, and as a Catholic, we don't believe it's an abortion, but we also believe in the equality of the other person. So who are we to tell that person what to do with their body? And that's essentially what the Supreme Court said, that as a fetus is carried inside a woman's body, a doctor is over that. And so because it's a relationship between the doctor and the mother, it's a privacy issue. And so no one should interfere with that. That's what the whole sort of legal argument of abortion is that's what it's about. And I'm sorry, in a land that supposedly you have privacy, and you believe in privacy, big government should not be looking into your business. Big government should not be looking into your phone book and all those other things. Or big government should not be looking into your wallet. Well, then big government should be looking into your doctor's office visit. That's as private as you can be. So I'm sorry. That's where I believe legally the issue of abortion is. And Joe Biden, and I'm a Catholic, and that's what I think it is. It's a woman's right to choose. I think it's a great, great evil in the world. But once again, I'm taught to love the sinner, and she had a reason why. And maybe she couldn't bring the baby to term. Or, I mean, she couldn't take care of that baby, or felt that she couldn't take care of that baby. And adoption is not always can always happen. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, no, he thinks abortion is wrong, but he's not a woman. And he does not believe in late-term abortion unless the state allows it, which it's down in the states. So he believes in state law, and to see if it is because a woman has health issues, or there's some sort of health emergency, and it's the fetus or the mother. And how many general hospital episodes or story arcs have the mother, the baby died or whatever from some health thing. So, I mean, some health emergency. So that's where he sort of believes in it, and cancer and stuff like that. But once again, that is the mother's decision. That's not our decision. Joe Biden is not actively killing that baby, but Joe Biden is saying in a special health circumstance, the mother has the right to make that decision. And if you believe in personal freedom, and that's that she should have that right. That's what Joe Biden believes. No, so he's not killing fucking babies.
He also states that he plans to take all gun rights.
No,
take away all gun rights.
Joe Biden has never said that he's going to take away gun rights.
Because he also, in that process, he says,
defund the police, right?
We have no way to protect ourselves. He plans to defund the police, meaning the police will not be able to come.
Oh yeah. So he tries to mix up the whole gun rights with defund the police business, right? Well, he said Joe Biden's going to defund the police, and Joe Biden's going to take away your guns, right? That's what he said, right?
Yeah.
All right. So those are two things that, once again, this person puts a flavoring on top of it. But the bake is that Joe Biden's going to take away your guns, and Joe Biden's going to take away, or it's defund the police. Joe Biden has said no to defunding the police. He has said instead there should be, we should be looking at the relationship of police and community, and maybe that's the case because there's a lot less police, there's a lot more of us, and so they need to be safe. And if they don't have to be called to every little thing, then maybe we're not on edge and maybe they're not on edge. So, and that's what Joe Biden is sort of calling for, a national discussion. But no, nobody should be putting their knees on the necks of somebody who's laying on the floor in handcuffs. I'm so sorry. There is no reason for it whatsoever. And if it's all about sticks and stones that a handcuffed man or woman, riled you up because of what they said, and they said you're scum and all this other stuff, whatever happened to sticks and stones? You've already won. The handcuffs are on the person. So I don't know. Even if they're spitting at you, I just put something over their face. They're handcuffed. Put something over their face so they can't spit at you. And maybe that needs to be a part of arresting as well, that we do sort of that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, these are people that the state is taking in, and you shouldn't be killing by kneeling on the neck of prisoners. It's just in a prison, anywhere. Once you have submission, then you have to submit power. I think that's sort of where it has to be, and the law has to take over at that point in time. But no, Joe Biden does not believe in defunding the police, and Joe Biden believes in the Second Amendment. But do you really need a gun that shoots 90 rounds a minute? And my answer is, I'm not really sure. And at the time when the Second Amendment was made, you are allowed to bear the right of arms in the absence of a well-regulated militia. The right to bear arms will not be infringed. So you have a what you call a well-together militia. It's called the goddamn police, and it's called your law enforcement officials, who they are the ones who are your militia. Your militia was to create law and order. They create law and order. So I'm not sure if the average citizen should be carrying around an AK rifle or an AR rifle, AR-15, when they were relegated to the military and they shoot like 50 rounds a minute. So that's where that sort of lies. Go ahead, next.
He also stated that he's taking away bail bonding.
Oh, I love this one.
Basically, when you go to jail.
Yeah, when you go to jail, you got to pay you. Yeah, he's saying he's going to get rid of jail's bondsmen, and what he's trying to say is that he's trying to get away a part of law enforcement. And jail's bondmen are not law enforcement people; they prey upon the poor, because what happens is that you get a $500 fine. And either you got to pay the $500 or you have to go to jail. And as we know, most Americans live paycheck to paycheck. It'd be very hard to come up with $500 right there at that spot. And so because of that, they might have to go in jail overnight. And if they go in jail overnight, there's a good chance that they're going to lose their job. So there are whole economic repercussions to cash bail bond. So that the person has to put up $500 in cash. Now they had put up $500 in assets, or they were released on their own recognizance because we take their social security number, so we could always find them through financial records and things of that nature if they owe any money, and they would be able to put up a portion of that. So what happens is that cash bail bondsman, that cash bail has repercussions for poor people. And people of color in certain areas of the United States. So bail bondsmen are predatory because they charge like 20% for the cash that they're going to give you to bail out your loved one in jail. So they're not a part of the process at all. But at the same time, this cash bondsman scheme, or this cash bond scheme, disproportionately hurts poor people who cannot afford $500 or cannot cough up $400 in 72 hours or in 70 hours, or sometimes thousands of dollars when your loved one is being accused of assault and stuff like that. It could run into $1,000 cash right then and there. And then they have to go to a bail bondsman. So they're not a part of law enforcement, and what he's saying is, no, you shouldn't have cash bonds. That's all. Next. Was that the four of them? Yeah. So there we go. Like, the disinformation that is out there is spectacular. So do your research. Know exactly what is being said, and know exactly what is known about the candidates. And here's why. You're being challenged right now. Because a lot of us can't balance even our our checkbook. So many of us are in debt, and then all this is about math. This math, that math. They had a collection of votes that were sitting in the corner that need to be counted, and it takes time when there's like a million of them, and there's only like 20 people counting them. So we, because we struggle with math, basic math, is why people think that there's some sort of chicanery. There's no chicanery going on. Count every vote. Every vote that comes in. And it should be up to 3 days after. Listen, if your taxes can be marked April 14th or 15th, postmark April 14th or 15th, and arrive in motherfucking June, and you still don't get penalized, votes are supposed to be certified by a certain time. They're not certified the night of an election. They're often certified weeks after. It's this whole, we have to have everything right then and there, that is saying, why don't we know anything? Why don't know anything? And in that cloud of not knowing, these people, like my friend's Facebook friend, they're just sowing seeds of chaos and doubt. That's what they're doing. Because why? They have no logic. And they just want to be, and because they have no logic, and it says a lot about a person who doesn't use logic and who doesn't go and look. It says a lot about a person. And I mean, we're seeing it. They're showing up at what you call it. They're showing up at counting centers demanding stop the count. Well, how do you know your vote's not in there somewhere? Your vote is in there somewhere. So if your vote is in there somewhere, why would you want them to stop counting? You don't know whether or not they counted your vote or not, right? I guarantee you. So everybody, it should count. It should just postmarked by that date. You know, you have a certain time to be certified. I think, was it like 2 or 3 weeks to the vote to be certified? Yeah, you know, sometimes you can call it, sometimes you can't. But we're such a large nation right now that I believe this is going to be the norm going forward, unless we have one sort of common thing. And the Constitution does not allow that. The Constitution just says you have to have elections, but it's up to states to decide how they have elections. And so really it's at the state level. It's not at the federal level. So, and now you're relying, the federal level, which needs to be elected, is now relying on the state level, and not all states have everything together. Or being political about votes or things of that nature. And some states, they collect 3 days after. Some states, they collect on the postmark date. Some states, the whole state votes by mail. So it's a gambit. But everybody should be, every citizen of the United States has the right to a legal vote. And all legal votes should be counted. And that means whatever at the time when that person put their ballot, whatever legally was supposed to happen, whether be no judicial action, legally what's written in law, that is a legal vote. And no court in the land should be able to tamper with it. And so because you don't know whether it's a legal vote or not, you leave it up to the states to make sure that's a legal vote. So that's the way it should be. But states make the laws on the elections, not the federal level. So until we have a universal way, this is the way it's going to be. But math is still math. 2 plus 2 is still 2. So you have to count, and everybody's supposed to represent one person. Sometimes, and in states that are very, very large, I'm sorry, but Montana, that looks like this large state, or Alaska, which is 1/3 the state of the actual contiguous states. So 1/3 of our country, our landmass as a country, is Alaska. And guess what? Only like 1 million people live there. So, not 1 million people. Only like 100,000 people live there. No, I'm sorry. I think it's a little. I'd say like 1 million. I don't know. I could always look it up. I'm saying not a lot of people live there compared to the size of the land, because it's 1/3 the United States. So there's everybody looking at the map going, all this red and blue. It has to be where people live, not where people land doesn't vote. So it's psychological. You have to really look at it as a mathematical problem, voting. And so let's just get the math done. Sorry if I rambled. Bye.